Hey everybody, how are you? It's Audrey. Thanks for stopping by my channel. I have another process video for Hip Kit Club today. And today I am sharing with you a page that I created with the July 2018 kit and cut files. So this is a strawberry cut file designed by Kim Watson, and I have just downloaded it from the Hip Kit Club website. And once the file opened, I dragged the DXF file right into my Silhouette Studio program. You could also save it and drag the PNG in as well, but if it's a PNG, I believe you have to trace it. And this file, the DXF, you don't have to trace. It's automatically a cut file. So I have also drawn a box in here that is the size of my photo, which is a 3x4 photo. And I do that often so that I can get an idea of how big I want my cut files to be around the photos. So you saw I had 4 strawberries, and then I went ahead and cut them out from some pink cardstock and some kind of peach patterned paper. And then I went back and I cut out just the tops of the strawberries, and I didn't show you that part in Silhouette Studio, but I just used the little kind of eraser tool, and I erased all the other part of the strawberry except the stems, and then I cut out the stems from yellow cardstock, and that's because I wanted the stems of the strawberries to be green. So I'm using the Pink Fresh Studio inks or watercolor inks that came in the color kit this month, and I used yellow cardstock because I knew I had the blue ink, and I wanted to make green stems, and yellow and blue make green. And just to give these strawberries a little bit more color, I spritzed them with some pink Dilutions mist, which I think came from an older Hip Kit Club kit. I have no idea which one because I just take my kits apart after I use them and put them in my stash, so I don't know. I couldn't make a page about strawberry picking without using this piece of pattern paper. That is from Bella Boulevard, I think, but that's in the July kit too. And the back of that paper, the peach, that's what I cut some of the strawberries from. So I'm going to use that as my background, and then I am going to go over it with a little bit of gesso because I do want the strawberries to stand out, and I don't plan on backing these cut files with anything, so I don't want, the strawberry paper was a little bit too busy to put behind the strawberry cuts, so I'm going to tone it down with some gesso. So I lay the gesso on pretty thick, and I let it dry. And I like the way that those strawberries stand out much better against a background that has a little bit of gesso on it. And so now I'm just going to go through all of my stash, and I have to tell you, my desk is a disaster because I have just been continually creating with this kit. I haven't cleaned up anything. I've just been doing page after page, and so the stuff is spread out literally all over my desk, and I know it would probably drive some people crazy if you saw the status of my desk, but I know where everything is, kind of. But I use this little tray to keep my die cut separate and to just kind of make piles of what I like and what I don't like. So I'm just going to go around and play around with some things here. So the big chipboard word that says summer, that comes from Simple Stories chipboard piece of paper, and without that the page is very pastel, and that's fine, but I just wanted to brighten it up a little bit, and when I added that word on there, I really liked how that looked, and I just love those chipboard pieces. However, it just left the whole top of the page so plain, so I had to put something up there to kind of balance it. So I put the banner up there, and I don't completely love the banner there, but I definitely need the color up there. So I'm going to play around with it a little bit until I like it. I keep playing with some clouds too. I put a cloud die cut up in the top and a cloud sticker, but I end up taking them all off. I've also taken a couple, excuse me, strawberry stickers from the exclusive sticker sheet and a couple of the die cuts from the die cut pack. These are 3x4 cards from the Project Life pack, and I'm going to layer some blue ones behind my photo. So I decided that my strawberries were not defined enough, and I wanted to bring in some more color because it was very plain and white. So I am going to do some watercoloring behind the strawberries. So I am tracing the strawberries with a white pen. Now I know you cannot see at all this white line, and as a matter of fact, I have to get really, really close to see the lines, But I did that because I don't want the lines to see on my finished page, and I've already gessoed the background, and I have found that if you trace something in pencil on gesso, it's very hard to erase. So I am just going to follow the white lines that I've used. So I took, again, the same color mist, the Delusions mist that I used before, and I'm just taking a paintbrush and some water and just kind of outlining the shapes. It is a little tricky to see the lines, so I kind of have to bend and catch the right angle of my lighting to see where the white lines are, but I like that you cannot see any of them in the end. I love doing this. This is so, I don't know, therapeutic. I love doing watercolors, and I love the way watercolors dry and how you can go dark to light, and you can get so much depth with one color, and just by varying the amount of water that you add, you know, you can get such a depth of color, and you can really add dimension to whatever shape you're painting. So of course I got to add a few pink splatters, and now I'm going to go back with some green and do the stems. And this is a citron color green that just came from my stash, and it's kind of yellowy when you water it down. So I find that you really have to add it on pretty thick for it to look green, but that's okay because the die cuts right there are much more green. So you know, you get the idea that it's more green than yellow, and it's okay that it's a light green, even though strawberry stems are actually a very dark green. They're not light green at all, but I like the light green in this case. So I've done this technique before where like I've backed the cutout shape with pattern paper and then watercolored over it, but I've never actually done it right on the background paper before. So I was kind of holding my breath because I always get nervous about these things, because if I mess up, I feel like I have to start all over again, or, you know, really try to have to do something to fix it. So I hate when that happens. But this one, luckily, turned out okay. I missed a few spots of where the pink needed to go, so I'm going to go back in, just fill in a little bit more pink. Also, this dried very fast, and I was glad that I didn't have to worry about the green and the pink mixing too much to kind of create that muddy brown. So once this thoroughly dried, I am using an adhesive sheet. It's an adhesive sheet of sticky dots. It's made by ThermoWeb. I use these all the time for cut files, especially intricate ones like this. And you just pull back the top cover, and the adhesive's underneath, and you stick your shape on, and I kind of put the top cover back over it just to kind of give it a good rub. And then you peel it right off, and it comes off, and it sticks great. So I'm going to stick those on, and I love how that came out. I'm so glad I added that color in the background to make those strawberries stand out a little bit more. Okay, so go to staple that, stapler's out, go to glue it, glue is clogged. Oh boy, such is my life. I spend like 5 minutes on clogging glue. And I had just used it like, well, it seemed like a few minutes ago, but it wasn't that long ago. I can't believe it clogged so fast already. So I unscrew the top, I put a needle in it, I play around with it for a little bit, finally get it working, and I took any extra glue that was on the needle that I was using, and I put it on those little pieces of paper. I put some craft foam in the back, and I go to glue my photo down with the craft foam, and yeah, I didn't screw the top back on my glue. Brilliant. So yeah, I had a big blob of glue on there, but luckily I just scraped it off with my spatula. It scraped right off. It was fine. It dries clear. Can't even see it. Okay, moving on. That could have been a lot worse. It could have been something like ink or dye. And luckily it was also on like a busier area of the page where you weren't going to see it so much. Or it could have been on my photo, which would have meant I had to print a whole new photo, and that would have been a pain in my butt too, but it all worked out. So I moved the word summer over a tiny bit, and you notice, by the way, well, I guess I did this a long time ago, but I kind of switched the orientation of the strawberries slightly. I put the bigger strawberry toward the left of the photo and the smaller one toward the right, and that was to accommodate that banner a little bit more, so that the bigger stem was to the left of the photo. to leave some room up in the top corner there for the banner. I'm just playing around with a few other tidbits here, seeing what I can put where. I have a little die cut that says super sweet, the little circle. Oh, and these puffy stickers, even they look yellow on the sheet, but then when I put them on the paper, they kind of look like they were light green. So I kind of use them as centers to those strawberry stems. I'm looking now for something to write my journaling on because I want to put my journaling down there in the bottom, but obviously it's way too busy for me just to write right over the pattern paper, so I got to put something on there. And I picked up this tag and I wasn't intending on using it, but I loved the yellow. I loved the yellow with the pink and the green. So I am going to incorporate a little bit of it there on the top, and I'll save the bottom for another project. So I just cut off the top. The bottom is the part that's kind of a little bit more interesting anyway. So I found this 3x4 card in the Project Life kit that has yellow and white striped lines, and I thought I will do something with that for my journaling. And I'm going to go ahead and glue down my little bits here. Especially when I have a background that's been gessoed and has mixed media on it, even if my chipboard is already self-adhesive, which this is, I always add some glue to it because it never seems to stay right. I forgot about these little bits, these little acrylic pieces and wood veneer pieces, and I had that one little tag sticking off the right of the photo that says enjoy, and it kind of has a wood grain print to it, so I thought adding a couple more little wood veneer elements kind of picked up on that. And because I had put craft foam behind my photo, it was a little bit higher than the chipboard, so I had to add some craft foam to the back of my chipboard in a few spots so that it was all the same level. And I'm going to stick that on, glue this tag on. So I took the words that was a die cut, it's under my right arm, it says something sweet. I took them off, but because I kind of liked, I don't know, I kind of liked it without the words something sweet, and I already had the other little circle that says so sweet. So I like it like it is, and then I'm going to add my lines for my journaling as soon as I finish gluing these other couple bits on. I didn't want to leave this just as a plain rectangle, so I'm going to kind of do some creative cutting here and make it look like the lines are different lengths. So I'm just going to use 4 lines, so you'll see what I mean when I'm finished cutting. It's easier to see it then. Yeah, so they're just staggered lines. I play around with where to put that a little bit, and finally I decide, well, I'm going to journal on it. Do I journal on it first? No. I'm going to put it underneath this tag. This is something sweet, and now I like that much better, and I kind of like those layers together, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue it at this point. And then I think the only other things I do are add my journaling and add the date. And I'm pretty sure that almost does it. Nope, forgot. A little piece of kind of some jute twine, and now she's done. Added my journaling, the date, my twine, and there it is. I love how that cut file looks against that watercolor background and these layers of bright summery chipboard. So fun to make. I love working with cut files, and I love working with these Hip Kit Club kits. So thank you so much for stopping by the Hip Kit Club channel today, and have a great day.